Hi, everyone, and welcome to Waynesboro at Work. I am your host, Brooke Anderson, and this is a podcast where we talk with business owners, entrepreneurs, and business leaders about the origin stories of their businesses, the passion for the work that they do, and a little bit of everything in between. So I'm really excited to have with me not one, but two guests today. So we have Carrie Barrick, and she is the owner of Havoc House. And we also have with her lovely wife, Kelly Barrick, who is the co-owner of Havoc House. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
So for people that may not know and are probably a little bit intrigued by that name, Havoc House, what exactly are you doing over there at Havoc House? What is it?
We have a rage room and axe throwing going on. The rage room is where you just basically come in, release your anger, get your stress off your shoulders. Even if you aren't feeling stress or anger, you can just come in here and get that weight off your shoulders that you've been holding on to for a while.
Oh my goodness.
We
Go
also
ahead.
have axe. Yeah, we also have axe throwing going on. We also have a little hatchet, wooden hatchet. We have the metal hatchet, and we also have a metal knife you can throw.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm just going through a list already in my mind of like reasons I need to come there. So it sounds like an absolute blast. I actually know people that have gone there and really loved it. So before we get into more specifics about Havoc House, what was the inspiration for starting this business?
Honestly, I struggle inside of myself. I'm bipolar and I'm ADD, so I struggle inside of myself. And when I was a kid, my father always tried sending me to therapy, and I didn't want to open up to anybody. I didn't want to open up to a stranger. I'd rather take my aggression out and go beat a tree or go tear something up. So I figured there's other people in the world that can't talk to somebody and release whatever they feel they need to release. So I opened this so other people can have some type of release off their shoulders.
Got you. Well, thank you definitely for sharing that. And I think you bring up such a good point, there are studies that show that sometimes like that physical activity can be really a positive influence on our mental health. So Kelly, what about you? What was interesting to you about starting a business like this?
I agree with Carrie, the same thing. We have a lot of kids that come in, just offering that outlet to a wide range of ages for kids, between autistic kids, the quiet kids that get bullied, the adults that, like Carrie was saying, aren't comfortable sitting on the couch. Sometimes you need a little bit more.
Right.
So
absolutely.
Definitely nice to be able to offer that outlet to the community.
Yes, I think that is so true. So what are like, do you know like the youngest person you've had in there and the oldest person you've had in there? You said people of all ages.
Right. The youngest actually we've had is 3 years old.
Okay.
And I think the oldest we've had, she was probably in her 60s.
Okay. Hey, that's amazing. And so you also do the axe throwing and you mentioned knives in there. So I've always been curious about that from a safety standpoint. How do you make sure people are safe while they're doing these activities?
Well, we give them the rundown and show them how to properly throw them and just make sure they're doing the proper techniques to not throw it incorrectly and hurt themselves. So we just keep an eye on them and make sure they're throwing it correctly and not humming that thing like a baseball.
Right. So there's a little bit of training that goes along with all of that. Yes. So I imagine some people come there and they might even be a little bit surprised that once they're actually in the room and like hitting things or throwing axes, like how absolutely into it they get. Do you find that to be true?
Yes, because we have a 5-minute package. And like some people just want to try it out and they're like, dang, I should have got longer. Because by the time you get in there and get going, your time is up.
Right. Exactly. And when did you start this business?
We opened in December of 2020.
December of 2020. Okay. So, here we are, December 2020, you're opening a business, things are going along, and then suddenly the whole world experiences the event of COVID together. So what was that like as a brand new business owner, like brand new business owners? What was that like?
Actually, that did stop us from opening. We were going to open in April of 2020, and that stopped us from opening. So we opened in December of 2020. But it was actually a good turnout. I mean, it was election year. Everybody was stressed over COVID. So it was a good
Yeah.
turnout to be first open in December of 2020 after all that.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I've talked with a lot of businesses, some that, were very hard hit in terms of having to go into lockdown with their business, but then some businesses actually really kind of thrived during that time period. So as you mentioned, there were and continue to be a lot of things that people are stressed about. So that's interesting that you actually, had a pretty good turnout there, and offered kind of a release that people really, really needed during that super stressful time.
Of course.
So when you were thinking about opening your business, what drew you to Waynesboro?
We originally lived in Waynesboro, so we didn't.
Okay.
And also, it's a small community, and like we're center of all the college towns. We're center of UVA. We're center of JMU. What else is out there? Radford, and all.
Right.
We're just center of everything. So we figured we'd stay in center and bring everybody into Waynesboro.
Right. Yes. There's a great entrepreneurial community that, I hear from a lot of people that they feel very supported there. So, there are so many reasons why Waynesboro is a great place to do business, like you mentioned. So, Kelly, were you like a kid with lemonade stands, or like how did this entrepreneurial spirit come about in you? How did you find yourself being a business owner?
It really, Carrie inspired me a lot with this. The idea, I've struggled with some mental health issues as well. And to be able to offer something like this, we love to have customers come in that just want to feel like they're breaking the rules to like break dishes and stuff.
Right.
Like, you don't have to be angry, but to see the people come in that truly and honestly, like, it's therapy for them, really, really is a good feeling to give back to the community.
Got you. Yes, absolutely. So what about you, Carrie? Were you always someone that had an entrepreneurial spirit?
Yeah, I love doing new things, trying new things. So like when I wanted to open the business, I just put all effort and ran with it.
Yeah,
And here I
absolutely.
am almost 2 years later.
Good for you. Yes. So how exactly does it work? Like when you go into the rage room, do you go by yourself? Are you able to go with other people? Paint a picture for us.
All right, so actually, here we go.
Okay. All right, guys, you're seeing this. We're going on a live tour here.
All right, so in here is where you get suited up. You're gonna wear, if you have shorts on, you get a little Michael Myers jumpsuit thing. If
Okay.
not, you get a white jacket.
Okay.
You get some dotted gloves with some latex nitrile gloves underneath, some booties to grab the glass out from when you're done with your feet.
Okay.
And then you also get some headgear up top. You got
Nice.
a paintball mask or like a little welding shield.
Nice.
So then you come in here.
So
We got
right into the
everything
room.
set up.
Okay.
Got some stuff on the floor for you. Got your glass behind you. And you got your weapons in the corner.
Okay. We see
And
some
we also
golf
got a
gloves,
cell
baseball
phone.
bats.
Yep. Got a cell phone holder so you can record yourself.
Nice. Get that social
Yep.
media post going.
Yep. And then down here we have two axe stalls.
Okay.
And then we have another rage room.
Okay. All right. So in the rage rooms, do you go in by yourself or can other people come in and do it together?
Actually, you can go in as multiple people. Like the
Okay.
biggest we've had is 10 people in that big rage room.
Okay.
And then 4 in this smaller rage room.
Got you. So I have to know, 1, what is cleanup like afterwards? And 2, where do you get all this stuff for people to break?
All right. So the stuff we get from people to break, we work with like the community. We work with like the Goodwill. We work with, actually, no, not the Goodwill anymore. The Mission, the Salvation Army, and Love Inc. So we pay by the tub. So whatever they can't put on the shelf, it's a little dirty or chipped or not a full set of dishes or whatever, we pay by the tub. And that way we still give back to the community itself.
That is awesome. I love that business model. So you're literally contributing regularly to really worthwhile causes and getting things that they might not be able to sell, but that you can certainly use. That's really cool. I love that. Good for you.
And also we work with small local restaurants and collect their glass bottles from like their alcohol, their liquor, beer, wine, or whatever they might sell.
Okay, very good. So, and then what is cleanup like after people are done in those rooms?
Cleanup isn't terrible. We've got it
Okay.
down, mastered pretty well. We have a large trash can for the bigger items, and then typically we'll push the glass, sweep the glass to one wall, and then we'll scoop it up in 5-gallon buckets.
Okay. So you've got it down to an art form there. You can
Yes.
just get
Mhm.
that
Yes.
cleaned up, ready for the next person. That's really
Yep.
amazing. So when you were opening the business, I've heard and seen other, kind of similar businesses with rage rooms and whatnot. Are you linked in with like a group of people that have this kind of business, or did you kind of just start from scratch and make it up as you go along?
Actually, I started from scratch and made up as it went along. Like when I first started doing all my research and like my competitors and this, that, and other, the closest one was in Canada. Now the
Wow.
closest one is in Richmond, Virginia.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Well, go ahead.
Nope, that's all.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is, it kind of shows like that there is a need and a want for this type of thing out
Yeah.
there for sure. If people are using it enough to where now we're, kind of seeing them here, there, and everywhere. Well, that is really amazing. So, being a business owner, being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. And, a lot of times it's sort of like they talk about the iceberg where you see the 10% of the iceberg that sticks up out of the water, but the 90% is underwater and people never see it. And I feel like
Correct.
with entrepreneurs, a lot of times we see the 10% of the business is open and people are coming and they're having fun and they're doing these things, but they don't see the 90% of work it took to get there. So tell me a little bit more about the challenges you've faced as entrepreneurs and any advice that you have for other entrepreneurs out there.
Well, actually, we actually just quit our full-time job. So for the first year and a half, we were both working full-time jobs and running this. So
Wow.
if you don't have the energy and drive to get a business going, you better get there because it ain't going to put the brakes on for you. You better just keep moving and keep trucking, or you're never going to make it. If you don't try, you're never going to know.
That's right. Yes. What about you, Kelly? What do you think?
100% agree with Carrie. We would tell people we work 10 days a week because we would
Yeah.
work Monday through Friday at our full-time job, and we would do this full-time Wednesday through Sunday. So like
Wow.
Carrie said, you really have to have the drive and the want, because those first couple of years you have to invest your money back into your business to succeed. You
Right.
can't just, quit your jobs right from the jump. So you really have to invest back in yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Great advice. What is that like to finally reach the milestone where you were able to do this full time?
It is great. Like no
Mm.
more stress of having to work a full-time job. Never getting up early, time with the family more, going on
Yes.
vacations,
Yes, absolutely. That,
and putting the business first.
Yes.
yeah. Yeah,
It
those,
is so much work. Just like you were saying, I really agree that 90% people really have no idea.
yeah, absolutely. Yes. Um, and like you said, that work-life balance for those first few years at least seems to be such like a challenge, and probably really, if we're being quite honest about it, like non-existent in those first few years. Like I don't think I've interviewed an entrepreneur yet that is just like, yeah, those first years, like easy breezy, like no problem.
Nope.
you know so you're kind of in a unique position. I talk with a lot of people that are starting their business on their own, so it's just them, and sometimes they're referred to as solopreneurs, but you guys kind of had the opportunity to do this together. So how has doing it together benefited you? What has that been like for you?
It's been well. Like it made us stronger in our relationship. Like it helps us work together in here and outside of here. Like it builds a bond that you would never think you would have. Like even
Yeah.
if this wasn't my wife, even if it was my little brother, like you're just bringing yourself closer together because you're working and you have to work. Like if you don't make it work, your business isn't going to survive.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. There's just when you're doing an endeavor like that, there are just things that you two are going to know that like nobody else is going to fully understand.
Right.
Exactly. Very good. Yeah. So in terms of just what's next for Havoc House, is there anything coming up on the horizon that you want listeners to know about?
I don't think anything's coming up right now. Like,
Okay.
we are coming into our busy season with the brewery starting to get cold and everybody's coming back from vacation. So this is our busy season. So come on aboard and smash some stuff.
All right. So if people want to learn more about you or book, how do they go about doing all of that?
They can visit our website at havochouseba.com and you can see everything there. You can book, you can call us. It doesn't matter. You can email us. Everything you need to know is on that website.
Okay, perfect. Is there anything else you feel like it's important to know about what's going on over there at Havoc House?
I don't think so, unless you got something.
If there's any business out there that is looking to do a team building event, we have done several of those here lately. It's a lot of fun. Mondays and Tuesdays we're closed, but a lot of times if it suits the business, we'll book them on those days so they'll have the whole space to themselves.
Okay. Ooh, that's awesome. Yeah. Such a good point. So for people thinking of like you said, team building or the holidays are coming up and you want to do something like unique for your Christmas party that no one will forget. Like nobody's going to forget that Christmas party.
Smash all the presents.
Smash all the presents. That's right. Yes. Yeah, that's a perfect place to go for sure. So thanks for adding that in. All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for talking with me. It's been a pleasure. I am super excited to go try out Havoc House, and anybody that is listening or watching, go to the Havoc House website, check them out. Think about that for your holiday party or team building event, or if you just need some place to go for yourself. It sounds like the perfect spot to go to just blow off a little steam and reduce some of that stress that we all feel. For everybody watching and listening, thank you so much. We'll be back with you soon with more episodes. And in the meantime, if you want to learn more about businesses in Waynesboro, visit waynesborobusiness.com or growwaynesboro.com. Thank you for joining us. Stay safe and be well.